All right, let's talk about some good fan bases. These are the ones that, in my opinion, I just like, and I kind of want to see them have success because I like their fan base for whatever reason. Some of these are, me, having a lot of points and data to suggest some of these things. Most of it is just me saying these are the fan bases I happen to like. So, without further ado, the 9 best fan bases, and just to be clear, I'm excluding Tampa Bay because I'm a Tampa Bay fan, so I cannot, evaluate that properly. So yeah, let's just get into it, starting off with number 9. I'm going to Chicago Bears. Very much, I feel like it's going to be a trend in this video of the passionate fan base, despite the fact that their team hasn't had success. The Bears have really struggled, and yet despite this, they still feel like there's a ton of undying optimism in Chicago. Every year, they're convinced it could be the year that they're underrated. They're going to really break out. They're always 2 years away from a Super Bowl, it feels like, and I just love that. I think that there's, it's a very wholesome fan base a little bit. So Chicago Bears fans, absolutely a fan. I'm putting them at number 9. Number 8, I am going Minnesota. Some people would probably put the Minnesota Vikings higher. Again, it's another one of those. Definitely, one thing I really like about them is the fact that they have a lot of love for their team, despite the fact that their team, it's been successful. It's actually been very successful. They win a lot. They just haven't won a Super Bowl. And so because of that, I think sometimes fans can get a bit antsy and get a bit woe is me, and that's why they're a little bit lower on the list. But as a whole, they're still, again, a very wholesome fan base that I would love to see win a ring. So they're at number 8. Number 7, I'm going with the 49ers, and this is specifically a me thing. I just feel like the conversations I have with 49ers online tend to be incredibly pleasant, even when I disagree with decisions that they make. Like, for example, I was not a fan of drafting Trey Lance. I personally didn't love the trade at all, but once they made the trade, I would have rather gone Mac Jones. And when I, gave that opinion, usually it's, oh my God, you're an idiot. What are you talking about? The quarterback we drafted is way better. I feel like 49ers fans will still disagree because you're going to defend your quarterback. Did it in a very pleasant way, and I definitely had great interactions on Twitter and in the comments with 49ers fans, I feel like. So they're here at number 7. Ironically, at number 6, the team with 6 Super Bowl rings, one of the teams with 6 Super Bowl rings, the only team with 6 Super Bowl rings to make this list. Sorry, Patriots fans, you did not make the best fan bases list. Maybe next year. The Pittsburgh Steelers are here. Again, another fan base where I feel like all the interactions I've had have been very pleasant, very passionate fan base. I do have to say, I wonder if had I ever have gone to I've never been to a Steelers-Buccaneers game. I feel like if I had, it's possible my opinion could change because they do feel like the kind of fan base that travels well, which can be annoying when you're a fan of the home team and your team is losing and then there's away fans going crazy. That's always obnoxious, but as a whole, again, very passionate fan base that I also feel like is another one that I tend to have good interactions with, in my experience. So they're here at 6. Number 5, I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, there's a reason why they're a little bit lower. So here's why they're so high. Is they were definitely, they were like the Bills, fan base, or like the, I don't know, one of these, the Vikings fan base, one of the sort of whimsical, yeah, we don't win, but look at how passionate we are fan bases before they started winning. I think the reason why they fell a little bit to 5 is because of the fact that, now that they've been good for a bit, you're going to get some people who get a little cocky. You're going to get some bandwagon fans. That's just going to happen. But at the end of the day, this is still, it's one of the things I love about the Chiefs is that usually when you have a loud fan base and then that team gets good, a lot of times what happens is it doesn't get as loud anymore because, the real fans kind of get priced out as tickets go up, and then you have people who aren't as big of fans who end up buying the tickets and don't go quite as crazy. That's not the case with the Chiefs. They still get just as loud. Arrowhead is still just as rocking as it ever has been rocking. So Chiefs fans are great. I will have to say, I have had some very frustrating interactions on Twitter and on the comment section with certain Chiefs fans, so that definitely knocks them down a little bit as well. But I just love the passion. That's something I care about when I'm evaluating fan bases. So they're at number 5. Number 4, give me the Las Vegas Raiders. You could talk me into them being higher. Personally, I am definitely biased and maybe would put them higher if I, I'm not trying to just do my own personal list, but trying to do just sort of more of an objective list. I love Raiders fans because I don't know if this channel would have taken off without Raiders fans. When I first started this channel early on, it was sort of during the Khalil Mack trade, not too long after that, and talking about that, and I was one of the people that kind of defended the Raiders a little bit, which again, In hindsight, maybe didn't work out, but I think it was more so their poor drafting than the actual trade itself being a disaster. But that's what kind of helped grow this channel in the beginning, were Raiders fans who were very loyal and definitely were willing to check out my videos and also share it and stuff like that. But just in general, I mean, this is a fan base that the team has moved multiple times now at this point, and there's still fans in LA who love the Raiders. I mean, that's just kind of crazy how that's worked out. They're so loyal to a team that keeps moving around. That's impressive. And again, the way that the outfits that some of those guys wear, the passion, how can you not love Raiders fans? They're here at 4. Number 3 is admittedly a controversial one that not everybody is going to agree with, but the Philadelphia Eagles, I love Eagles fans. I think it's great. I love the passion, and do they have a bit of an edge to them? Absolutely. But I also do feel like to some degree, a little bit of it is overblown. Like, sure, they boo their players a lot. I mean, one of the funniest things about the Eagles, I remember when they won the Super Bowl, they got the opening, kickoff weekend where they celebrated, and then they had a bad first half where they were down like 7 points, and the fans booed them when they were going off out to the locker room at the half. It's like, you just won a Super Bowl. 30 minutes later, you're booing them, and the Eagles still won that game. But that's part of the fun of it. Is they're a unique fan base, and that's just kind of what I like about them. So while I get that some people are going to be, some people don't love Eagles fans, I've really never had a negative interaction with an Eagles fan, to be honest. I found Eagles fans to be pretty pleasant interacting. They like to boo their players. That's mostly it. So I love the passion. They're here at 3. Number 2, give me, if we're talking about teams that, a fan base that the team has not been successful for a really long time, and yet they still show up, they still support their team, they still care, definitely the Lions fan base has to be high up on this list. You could argue it's 1. Did not give them 1, but number 2 feels more than fair, and I'm totally rooting for them to be successful. And it feels like the Lions are kind of one of those teams that even if you're a division rival of the Lions, you're still kind of like, yeah, hopefully the Lions can find a way to, make something happen, make the playoffs, win a couple playoff games. How fun would that be? The fan base deserves it, as Detroit fans are incredible. So I have them at number 2. And finally, number 1, I mentioned them earlier, Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills have to be on this list. I mean, going to 4 straight Super Bowls and losing them all, for the older fans fans who are older than me, I should say. You're not an older fan if you've experienced that, but you're older than me if you experienced that. You definitely, if you're a Bills fan who is, had to live with your team losing 4 straight Super Bowls, you're a great fan if you're still watching football at this point. And all the close calls they've had, the fact that they haven't won a Super Bowl, the tables jumping, the uniqueness that the Bills fans have. It's so much fun, and it's so unique, and there's so much passion. Bills fans represent what is right with sports fandom in general, and also what makes absolutely no sense with sports fandom whatsoever. But you know what? If you're going to, be a sports fan, might as well be a fanatic about it, and that's what Buffalo does. So I love it. They're at number 1. But yeah, those are my thoughts. That's my top 9 best fan bases. I don't know why I didn't just do 10. Did 9. Weird. That was an odd decision. I was going to do 7, but then I didn't want to leave out the other 2 teams. I didn't want to leave out the Vikings and Bears, so I just went with 9. Could have added another one, but whatever. Those are my top 9 best fan bases in sports. Which one did I leave out? Which one do you think should be on this list, and which one do you agree with me that for putting on the list? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.